call my dad thinking that I was being arrested, but I wasn't. So anyway, that was
give you a little taste of Oingo
more
Boingo
importantly,
It's a dead man's party, Tony.
It is a dead man's party.
More importantly, this man right here came a long way to be
He came
in
from New
studio.
York. Is that a long way from here?
Yes.
He didn't walk. It's not like he walked. He's not like Elf who walked through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Right.
You know,
He didn't make the trek.
I took Amtrak. There'd be a better chance of getting on time if I walked.
Wow. Did you take the Acela?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. Acela's a ripoff. I mean, I love it. It's a nice train. It goes a little bit faster. But here's the thing about the Acela. It's cheaper than going to Pier. But here's the thing. The Acela is a great. I used to, when I worked at ESPN and did Keith Olbermann's show every week, they would always put us on the Acela because the company was paying for it.
Right.
But you're not, if you're just doing it on your own, you're not dropping $100 to go one way to New York City.
No.
Because it doesn't go much faster. I mean, it goes faster.
Right. It's basically they're doing what they should be doing at the base price.
Exactly.
They're acting like they're doing you a favor now. It's like,
Ladies and gentlemen, the man you are listening to and watching right now on Twitch.tv, the great comedian, voice of the fan, a Wall Street entrepreneur, a man who should be handling my 401k right now, a man who went from Wall Street to Bleecker Street, wherever the comedy clubs are.
that's perfect. Yeah.
Paul Mecurio, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Now, we had you on the show a few years ago, man.
Yeah. I wish I could have that applause when I walk into my bedroom.
Well, I can arrange that for you. You know what I mean? We can put I'll put a little speaker in there,
Please.
and then you tell me what time to hit it, and then I'll hit it electronically, and you can do all that stuff now, Paul.
All right, we got to get that hooked up as soon as I'm out of
It's
here.
very easy now. Technology is great.
You can download Tony's soundboard onto your
Exactly.
phone, and you can just
you
play
can?
all
Yeah,
of
just
his
get an
stuff.
iPad and put all the sounds in, and then put it right next to the bed, and then when you know,
We're in the middle of love making.
exactly. And then
Wow.
or if you're with a Latina woman who I obviously have a fondness for, you can hear this.
Papi, qué rico. Dame más.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm too distracted to talk right
Yeah.
now. I'm going to have to go in the bathroom and take care of some
No,
business.
don't do that. So now, ladies and gentlemen, you've done so much stuff. So this is a true story because we talked about this before. Because people wonder where comics do. What do they do? You don't grow up to be a comedian. You're not born a comedian. I've never been a comedian because I couldn't remember routines.
But
I
you're
can
funny. You're
Yeah,
funny.
but I can do top of mind, quick stuff.
Right.
But I could never have a prepared routine.
Yeah.
I would forget in the middle. I would blow the joke. You know what I mean?
Well,
He does it all the
I
time.
take notes. I take notes on stage with me because I don't do a set order, and I like to talk to the audience. So
Right.
I have to look down and go, oh, yeah, I want to do that joke about a football or whatever. So I understand that kind of. It's freeing to not have to be locked into, like, I got to do A, B, and C,
So now, speaking of football, that's the one we had. We were at the Super Bowl for 10 days, and all of our guests signed the ball. And now we gave it away to one of our lucky listeners who follows us on our Twitch channel. And they said, I don't want the football. Let's put it up for charity.
Nice.
And the charity is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And we love doing kids-related stuff. St. Jude's, Shriners Hospital for Kids, Children's Hospital, Make-A-Wish, all these great organizations. So we pick and choose. The gentleman wanted to give it to St. Jude's. So it's up to $1,000 to bid on this.
Wow.
And we're going to close the auction tomorrow.
That's amazing.
And so I bought the football for $40. I'm even enclosing my $40, $45 glass case. I'm throwing in at no additional charge. And I'm not even getting a tax write-off for this. That's how benevolent I am.
If I sign it, it'll drop the price.
Well, we can put you on there. You want to get on there?
No, I would
Well,
like
drop
to,
it.
but I don't want to, I don't want
Yeah, I didn't sign it either. I don't want the value to go down. Now, Paul, you're in Philly. You're going to do
I'm at the Punchline.
Punchline Comedy Club Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah.
right? Now, you're doing 2 shows Friday and Saturday?
2 shows. I got 5 shows total. 7:30 and 9:45 Friday and Saturday, and 7:30 on Sunday. So yeah, hey, it's Valentine's Day. Come on out.
Exactly.
I'm not
Nothing
here-
better.
I'm not here with my wife. That's how I celebrate
So,
Valentine's
yeah, so
Day.
what does your wife think when you're on Valentine's night, which is Friday night, tomorrow night, you're going to be in a comedy club in Philadelphia
This is
while
what
your
she
wife
thought.
is in New York. She's not. Now, you're both from Providence, Rhode Island, right?
Yeah,
so
we
you
grew
met
up in
together.
Providence. Yeah, we met in high school, and so she's like,
Aw.
yeah, huh? Don't you want to sleep with me?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I really want that woman in my bedroom. We dated. Actually, we dated for almost 15 years before we got married.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah,
Actually, that was probably a smart thing because you got over the bridge of where most people get divorced if they could get married.
Yeah,
young.
exactly. Yeah, well, she proposed finally. I can't tell you her like exact words because I get really emotional. But they ended with, "Or get off the pot." No.
Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me.
Wow.
I think I've used that phrase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was a senior. She was knocked out with a roofie, and or as we call it, a Bill Cosby.
I have rim shots here
there
too
you
to
go.
help if you
No,
need
so
some.
anyway, yeah. So she, when you're together that long, like look, she says it's better when I'm not home. We have my wife, we have a kid, we have a dog, and they have a routine. And then when I show up, me being Italian, I'm going a million miles an hour. The hands are going.
Wait, you're Italian?
I'm 100%. Well, she's a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon
Oh,
Protestant.
wow.
Yeah, like a Mayflower. Like, so they don't emote. They just wear like drop of a hat, pass the salt. What did you mean by that? But
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
the WASPs don't. They just they drink martinis, smoke, and get divorced. Like that's what they
Exactly.
do. And so, in fact, one of the first dates we had, like we went to movies a couple of times. We were in high school, and then I took her over to this family Sunday Italian dinner, the big Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the basement with the knotty pine and everybody smoking cigars and cigarettes and there's 14 pounds of pasta and bread, and she comes and this and that and whatever, and then as we leave she goes, I go, how was it? She goes, oh, I had a good time. She goes, but why was everybody so mad at each other? I go, what do you mean? She goes, everybody was yelling at each other. I go, then we weren't yelling. That's how we talk.
Exactly.
It's
That's what Robin
That's
said
exactly
the first time I took her
the
here to
first
Philly to
time.
meet the family.
Well, first when I first met Tony, I was a little intimidated because I'm like, why is he gets mad so easily? And but we were just starting to work together, and so I thought, these Hollywood people, they're
I'm not a Hollywood person.
Well, but I mean, you were at the time.
I'm a Venice person. I'm more laid back.
And so,
Hollywood.
I was like, they tend to be divas. So, I'm like, whatever. So then I went to Philly and I met all of his family. I went, oh, they're all like this.
Yeah, it's completely.
Oh.
And one of my cousins, he still is. He runs numbers for the mob in Rhode Island, so he never wanted to work. And my cousin Bobby.
Does he have an opening? Luigi's looking for work right
I should do some
now.
collection. I did.
Well, first of all, you got to wear really tight pants to work with my cousin Bobby because he has these really tight pants, and he stands on a street corner in front of the social club, like, how you doing? How you doing? Like he's got a live snake in his pants. The legs are always moving, and he's always got a scam. He's always got a thing. He's always got a I remember I was like pumping gas to make money, like in college, and he comes to the gas station one day. And in the trunk of his car, he was selling suits, ratchets, and car alarms.
Wow.
Car alarms he stole out of other people's cars.
So they work.
Yeah, exactly.
As he moved up to the catalytic converter thing now. That's the big story now.
Yeah.
People are stealing
I
catalytic
But
converters
that's
off
been
of
happening
cars.
since the beginning
Yeah,
of
but
time.
it's now a big
No,
thing. It's
I
like,
just got rid of an old Lexus, right? And I went to I called the salvage yard, and he goes, "Does it have a catalytic, the original catalytic converter?" I'm like, I think so. He goes, "So those are worth." I had no idea
Yeah.
what he was
apparently
talking
there's
about.
precious metals inside,
Yes.
right?
Right.
It's
Right, exactly.
What's in?
platinum,
What kind?
right?
What do you got? Gold, silver,
No, I think it's
frankincense,
platinum.
myrrh. What's in there? What the hell's? What kind of precious metals are in a
Platinum,
platinum
copper.
chains
Platinum.
with diamonds on them?
There's some platinum.
I think it's platinum, and I know somebody. We were at a store, came back out, and car wouldn't start. Opened everything
Yeah.
looks normal. You don't realize it, and then all of a sudden we saw something dripping, or there was something underneath the car. We look under, and there's like a couple of wires hanging loose. Call the cops. Turns out, the catalytic converter was stolen, and it took them maybe 5 minutes.
You know who did it? My cousin Bobby.
He
he had
live in Arizona?
this other thing going, right? So my mother has a furniture store, okay, in Rhode Island where I grew up, and
You grew up in Providence, P-Town, as we call
Providence,
it?
yeah.
Well,
P-Town.
Provincetown is P-Town.
Yeah, there you
Providence
go.
is
Yeah,
Providence.
Providence is Providence, and they have. I'll let you take a look. So they basically, my mother's just turned 93. And she's still running her store. She's 93.
Wow, my mom's 95, so
Yeah.
it's about these old school Italian moms. It's
They-
unbelievable.
My
should
mother
get
will
them
not.
together, man.
Yeah, she will not go down either. We try everything. Sour milk. We
Oh,
trip her.
come on,
She
man.
bounces back like a little Italian weeble. No, she's out of her mind. You can't. First of all, I don't know if your mom, this generation grew up in the Depression, right?
Yeah.
So my mother, and she's got money. She's running her own store. She's 93. She's 4 feet now. She's down to this high. I take her around in a Sherpa bag. She keeps shrinking. And I basically had, growing up to have to work in this business. And my mother will go through people's garbage on Sunday nights looking for good garbage because they put the trash cans
Right.
in. Not food, stuff that's broken. And then she brings it to Mario and he has to fix it. Yeah. And she has a hearing aid and she found it in the garbage and it whistles like all the time. So it's like a lot of...
Wow. No, because people do it. Luigi he loves this stuff because, talking about, I could fix that. I could build that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tony's mom has a basement full of stuff. Like there's a dinette set that somebody put out on the curb.
Yeah, exactly. And they say, hey, I may be able to use this one day.
And then she makes you do lookout. Like I would have to drive her around on a Sunday night, and she in her house dressed in curlers one night with her hearing aids whistling like a pack of dogs are attracted to her, and she stands in the middle of the street with a clock going, I can't believe these people threw this clock out. They're crazy. I'm like, they're crazy? I'm lookout for Mrs. Sanford and Son over here, and they're crazy?
Growing up was the only time I spent time with my father. I swear to God, man. We were going out on trash night.
No.
Exactly. It's the whole thing is just like she won't use filing cabinets in her business because she doesn't want to spend the money. So she puts all of her bills and files in styrofoam coolers because they're lightweight.
way.
I swear to God. And then she writes like bills to pay, gas. Right, yeah. And when she gets audited, it looks like she's going on a picnic. It's like ridiculous.
And so you can get some of those styrofoam for like $1 in a
$1.
dollar
That's-
store.
she
The
does
styrofoam ones
She
for
does
$1.
I never
Yeah.
thought of that. That's actually a really great use for those suckers.
Now they're still living up in Rhode Island. Right? My brother, my sister, my mother. Right. So my brother calls me like 2 weeks ago. Hey, it was just at the end of the summer. It was like August. He goes, Paulie, we gotta have everybody calls me Paulie in the family. We gotta have mommy's car fumigated. I go, why? He goes, well, apparently my mother, she had having some of her girlfriends over, so she went and she bought like cold cuts and everything else.
The
and she put
gudagin, the
cheese-
gabagool,
yeah, the gabagool, the bading, the sausage,
Yes.
and then she got cheese, like blue cheese, provolone cheese, strong cheese.
love it.
So then she goes to like the Walmart, and she's very forgetful and flighty, my mother. So she locks the car, and she puts the cheese under the front seat of the car, and then does her thing, has her friends, and like for 3 days it sits in the car. She forgot it was there.
Was it from under cheese by any chance?
it might-
No, I'm sorry. That's
Tony
it. That's
Bruno.
a
There you go. And she basically, and so it baked in the sun for 3 days and stunk up the car. And when I said to her, why did you put the cheese under the front seat of the car? And I'm quoting now. She went, I didn't want people to steal the cheese.
Smart.
But you know what? Wasn't it better then? It had more. It had more of a bouquet.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
Italian, we would say "ma che puzza." That's what we would say.
Now, is your mother from Italy?
No, first generation here. Her
Wow.
parents were born in Italy.
See,
yeah.
my mother was born in Italy, so
Oh.
she still speaks in Italian to me.
Sicilia.
Yeah, my mother could speak Italian, but she wasn't born there. Yep.
Yeah, my mother still speaks to me in Italian now, to this day. Yeah, she says that every once in a while. No, my mom doesn't like that. She doesn't like cursing. To this day, even if I say, like, shit, she doesn't like that.
Oh, I said the F word in front of
Yeah,
her.
Robin never curses, and she cursed. And when she gets in front of my mother, she curses like a sailor. Do sailors still curse, by the way?
I thought I was going to get my mouth
Every
washed
morning,
out with
Tony.
soap.
And I'm
I
like,
felt
Robin,
so
I'd look
bad.
at her and say,
Did she give you the eyes to
Oh,
tell the eyes?
yeah. Oh,
she-
yeah.
She put the spell
Yeah.
on you. The,
what kind of bouton did you hook up with
how
here?
you doing?
Who's this zingara over here?
You couldn't bring a nice Italian girl home.
Fa schiva questa qua, fa schifo.
American, she's American.
So the whole thing is,
Spits at her. You got to spit at her.
you're dead to me. You're dead to me. I don't have a son. And
I don't have a son.
so she really like sort of does things her way, and you're not gonna you
No,
just
you
not
can't
gonna
change it.
right? You know,
No.
it's just become. And so my father, he passed away because he just needed to get out of the marriage, and he really. Like they just yelled all the time at each other.
Exactly.
They probably should have just gotten divorced, but that generation doesn't do that.
No, they didn't. My mom, I lost my mom was 37 years old. My dad was 39 when he died.
Wow.
My mother never remarried. This is 1962.
She would still be wearing all black. If,
Yes.
Yeah.
if
I mean, that
every
generation.
single letter.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
somebody gets divorced or somebody dies, the next day they're hooking up. They're on Tinder.
They're on Tinder
looking
right away,
for,
yeah.
Hey, I need some action here. I've been
Recently separated, mother of two.
I know he's gone, but come on, come on.
Do you wear a size 42 regular? Because I have a lot of suits I'm not using.
Exactly.
My father died. We had the open casket funeral.
Of course,
Yeah.
right.
Which I don't know why the Italians have to do that. So
And it's a week.
it's
Like you go for a week. How many nights can you go in a row?
exactly.
You know, and then
Right.
so every night
Right.
you go there and you cry and people are wailing. And my mother would be wailing out loud back in the day.
Yeah, and you're just like, I didn't really like this guy that much to spend a week caring about, right? So my cousin Bobby, this reminded me of this story. So we have the funeral, right? And this is how Bobby decides to come dress. You know, you go to a funeral, you pay your respects. You're in black, blues, subdued colors.
right.
I'm standing in the receiving line next to my dead father, open casket, and I see an orange dot coming at me. And it's Bobby in a fluorescent orange silk shirt, unbuttoned with gold chains, and a white patent leather belt and white slacks. And all I'm thinking is, like, this is a creamsicle with chest hair. That's all it is, right? And then he had white mesh loafers on and no socks.
So it was
the
a vacation?
summer. Exactly. And he put powder on his feet because it was the summer. He wanted to keep him dry, but because he overdoes everything. He put too much powder on his feet. So every time he'd step toward the casket, puffs of white smoke were coming out of the tops of his shoes. Like
And
somebody-
Luigi does that all the time when he runs.
It's like LeBron James showing up at the funeral.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's like
Paul
somebody
Mecurio.
nominated a pope. It's
No
like,
disrespect, but I would have loved to be there to see that. I mean, seriously.
Now, we know a lot of people do things, start out in one job and, they think they love it. And it's a good job, by the way. It's not a shit job.
Not like me, basically.
So you started out as a lawyer and working on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And then you said, screw that.
Yeah.
I want to be a comedian.
I want to be with
How do you
Tony
make the
Bruno on
transition
his
from
show.
Wall Street to Broad Street?
I basically, I didn't plan on it. Like I said, I grew up in Rhode Island. I went to law school in D.C., and I ended up in New York, and I was doing corporate deals, M&A deals, like merger and acquisitions, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do corporate law. And I started writing jokes as a hobby. I don't know why I was writing jokes. I always loved watching comedians as a kid. I would beg my mother, can I stay up? And then I got to go to private function. Jay Leno was the entertainment that night. And I went up to him and I had a whole bunch of papers. And I go, I don't know if you need jokes, but I'm never going to use these. And you can have them and use them if you want on the Tonight Show or whatever. And he was like, okay. He really does talk like they're letting helium out of a balloon. I was like, right? And when you talk to him, you just want to go, can you breathe a little bit, please? And he took them. And then a couple of days later, my phone rings. And this actually happened. And it's like, it's Jay Leno. Is Paul there? Now, I thought, what are the chances that Jay Leno's going to call you, right?
Right.
So I don't believe it's Jay Leno. I actually think it's my friend David who can do impressions, not just for fun. And I told him I met Jay Leno, so I thought it was there. I go, yeah, really funny. David goes, no, really, it's Jay Leno. I go, yeah, right. He goes, no, really. And I actually said to Jay Leno, you do a lousy Jay Leno.
Oh,
right?
wow. That's awesome.
And he goes, I think I do a pretty good meeting. I go, it's the worst Jay Leno ever. And then I'm like, oh, my God, it's Jay Leno. And he goes, I read your jokes, and I need jokes for the Tonight Show monologue, so I'm going to hire you. I'll pay you $50 a joke, and if I use something, I'll pay you. And then he goes, we're about to hang up. He goes, what do you do for a living, by the way? I go, I'm a lawyer. He goes, I knew it. I go, why? He goes, you write like a lawyer. You're too wordy. He goes, you're not writing a contract. You're writing a joke. Get to it already. And then 3-4 days later, he called me and he says, I'm going to do one of your jokes on The Tonight Show. And he did it on The Tonight Show that night. I got a bottle of champagne and it just blew my head off my shoulders. He paid me $50 for this joke. So here's a middle-class Italian kid from Rhode Island working on these big corporate Wall Street deals, and this little joke just boom, my head just went, and then I just became obsessed with writing jokes, and I was going to deal meetings with 2 notebooks. One was for the deal and one was for notes, and jokes, and I wasn't taking any deal notes. I was taking joke notes, and then I had to recreate the minutes of the meeting, and I had no idea what would happen. And people were like, well, you were just in the meeting. How do you not know what happened? And then I started to live a secret double life where I would sneak out of work on a dinner break, and I go to dive bars around New York City working open mic nights.
Wow,
Now,
that's
what year was
incredible.
this?
This was early 2000s, and so this was late 1997, 98, 97.
I would love to hear the conversation with you and your wife.
Oh, when I told my mother I think I want to leave Wall Street to be a comedian, she looked at me and goes, "That better be your first joke."
Yeah, I was going to ask you that joke right there.
So that you've written for a lot of obviously you do your own stuff,
Yeah.
but then you've written for a lot of comics.
Yeah, well,
right?
I worked on the Daily Show as a writer and a performer for quite a while. Then I worked on the Colbert Report. I work on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert now, but not as a writer, more like just sort of contributor. I do the audience warm up. I do on air stuff, and pretty much doing all my own stuff. But the whole thing with Leno, it was like I was having a nervous breakdown because I became obsessed and I was going out as much as I could. But I was going to dive bars. Like so I would get in a car and I would take my suit coat off to try to look downtown because I had like a $2,000 suit on. I was going to places called Downtown Beirut 2.
No way, really?
Yeah, they were either franchising these shitholes.
I hear falafel's great, though. It's great falafel. Great falafel.
Or maybe somebody blew up one. I don't know.
Oh.
And they were dealing like drugs out of there. They had a hooker she would work out of there, and she would give you notes on your joke. She'd go like, how come you're not doing that joke anymore about the cab? And I think it just needs a little. I'm like, okay, first of all, get off your knees when you talk to me. And secondly, and she really did give me notes on my joke. And they were selling drugs out of there, and there was a sign on the men's room door that said the toilet seats only to be used to go to the bathroom, not to cut coke. Thank you, the management.
Wow.
Thank you, the management.
That's a great establishment.
Exactly. And I would go, and I would sneak in, and I'd do 5 minutes, and then I'd go back. And then I get in trouble because I was supposed to be going like an hour, and I was going like 2, 3, 4 hours, and that became my life to the point where like I either got to do this full time, or I'm gonna lose my mind or stop doing it. And then I just decided I gotta go for it. Otherwise, But like I had a guy one night, and there was like I'm waiting to go on stage, and there's a guy on stage, a folk singer before me playing "Blowing in the Wind" like badly, like yeah, right. So
can you do "Blow It in the Wind" good?
Exactly.
Or well,
right, exactly. Anything is above what it normally is by Dylan, right? So there's a scuffle at the pool table, and one guy runs out of the bar, and another guy grabs the side of his neck, and he starts screaming, "He cut me, man! He cut me!" And it was a drug deal gone bad, and he cut him across the side of the neck, and blood starts like coming out of his neck, but he's drunk, but he's like, "Oh, he cut me!" And his girlfriend's like, "Oh my God, look at my friend! He cut me, man! Oh my God!" Screaming, and the guy, "Yeah, so my friend." The guy just keeps playing.
Nothing phases him.
So now I think, okay, the show's over, right? So I get up and I start to walk to the door. My back is to the stage, and I hear this. All right, your next act. You guys ready for some comedy? Right? This guy's wandering around with like bloody napkins. His girlfriend's crying. The cops are there. So I say, "Nice to be here at Downtown Beirut 2. I always wanted to follow a slashing." Thank you. I thought that was a pretty good line.
Yes.
Thank you.
That.
I like it. I like it.
And the
It's
guy,
topical.
Right, and the guy hears me say slashing got cut, and he goes, "Hey, you making fun of me? I don't need to take any crap from you." And he takes all these bloody napkins and he throws them at me, and they stick to my shirt.
No way.
Big right here, right on my rib cage. Right now, the stubborn Italian in me is like, "Screw this guy! I'm staying up here." And I keep going and going. I'm in my mind. I'm going to stay up here till this guy passes out from blood loss, right? And I'm going, and then he turns back, and nobody's paying attention. The cops are taking a report. He's bleeding. The girlfriend's crying, and he comes back to me and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing anyway?" I go, "I'm trying to tell jokes." He goes, "Oh yeah, I like jokes." He turns back to the audience. He goes, "Hey, everybody! Shut the hell up. This guy's trying to tell jokes." And the whole place shuts up.
Like, thanks, guy.
End of story. I go back to the firm. I'm supposed to be going an hour. It's going 3 hours. I walk in. Now, I turned into a 12-year-old and think, I'm going to just hide this. I'm going to walk around with a file folder, like up against my rib cage for the rest of the night. No one's going to notice, right? Well, I walk into a conference room. You know when you're 12, you think you're going to keep something for your parents, and they know in a minute. Like, that's what happened, right? I walk in this conference, there's like 20 lawyers, bankers, senior partner, never there past like 6 o'clock. It's midnight. I walk in, my foot hits the carpet. He goes, "Where have you been? Why do you have a blood stain on your shirt?" And now I don't know what to say, right? Because I've been keeping this a secret. And all of a sudden, another lawyer goes, "What kind of shirt is that?" I go, "It's a Brooks Brothers shirt." "Why?" He goes, "I know how to get blood out of a Brooks Brothers shirt." He goes, "Club soda and lemon juice." Another guy goes, "No, Armani. That's the shirt you want when you get blood." I'm like, "Are you guys remaking American Psycho in your spare time?" And I just walked out of the room, and that became my life for like 2 years, and then I decided to do it full time.
No, I just really quick. There's tons of people tuning in on the Twitch channel, and
they remember Red Eye. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you've done.
O&A.
Paul was awesome on O&A. Ask him how that ended.
Oh, yeah.
First off, Paul Mecurio, Red Eye. I miss Red Eye.
Yeah, whoever wrote I miss Red Eye too. The original Red Eye was, there was obviously Greg and Bill Schultz and Levy would do the halftime report, which was, I thought, one of the most inventive segments on TV.
Oh yeah.
Nobody else was doing it, and then they stopped doing it, and then Bill kind of moved on, and Bill was really underrated on that show because to be a good co-host is to know when to jump in to help, but more importantly, to not jump in and leave it alone. And we had a great time on that show, so I really missed doing that show. And then O&A was, the whole church thing. And,
that was a little-
apparently
actually,
nobody has a sense of humor about their
That
church
is actually
anymore.
a question that was up higher on the chat room.
Yeah.
As a comedian,
Yeah.
how do you feel and how do you deal with this PC world?
Oh, it's ridiculous. You have to push back. I think that's the comedian's job to push back. And especially if you're a white male, everybody's sort of trying to sort of put you in situations or create situations that don't exist. I think it's all tied in, I think, to social media. Everybody has an opinion about everything all the time,
Right.
so you think you can express it. And people are just on the lookout. Like my wife and I are walking our dog in a park near our neighborhood, and it's a law where we live. You have to have your dog on a leash after 9 a.m. We did. There's a guy whose dog's not on a leash, really big, scary dog, scaring people.
Okay.
And my wife goes, sir, your dog's scaring people. It really should be on a leash. Just like that. Nothing more. Latino guy. And he goes like this. He goes, why? Because it's a pit bull? Like trying to imply that we were white racist toward pit bulls or something? I'm like, no, because it's got a baby in its mouth. That's why.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Right, exactly.
Because it has tattoos and it's smoking Chesterfields, okay? But there's no fun in life anymore. Like every Halloween, and maybe you guys too or your kids, my parents dressed me as a hobo. Every Halloween.
Oh, the bum. The bum was a great costume.
Oh, yeah, the bum, right?
Great costume.
People would write letters now because you can't do that because
I
it's
know.
insensitive because a hobo is a homeless person. And if you think about it, our parents dressed us as homeless people and sent us out onto the streets at night to collect free food in front of real homeless people. And it sucked. I never got candy. Every house, baked beans and a harmonica. That was it.
But most of those guys.
Did you have the stick with the little thing on it? Yeah.
One time I actually did. And this is because Daddy's old clothes.
Yeah. Right.
We don't have time here. And they put some like shoe polish
Yep,
on so you
yep.
look like you had a beard and they send you out.
And the amazing thing, when I was a kid, Emmett Kelly was like, oh, he was so cool.
yeah.
It was the hobo. He was the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, but hobos now are making like low six figures.
Oh, I know that.
It's incredible.
Oh, in New York, they're raking it in.
It's incredible.
I call them bums where I come
Yeah,
from.
exactly.
We used to call them bums.
Bums, right.
Now you can't call people bums.
You can't say everybody they want to pretend like everybody's the same. Everything's got to be even. Stereotypes don't apply, and they do. My wife is a wasp. I am Italian. I am loud. She's not. We don't want to be the same. And also, everybody wants everything to be even all the time and fair, even adults. So I'm doing a one-man show in New York on Broadway where I bring people on stage and they tell stories from their lives. I just based on my stand-up.
So you're still doing that, right?
Yeah.
It's a one-man show,
Yeah,
and that's
so-
got to be hard.
You got to bring me up there, Paul. I got a lot of
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. I'm telling you, man, everybody does. Permission to Speak is the name of the show, and the stories have been incredible. And people go, well, are those people plans? How does it always work out? I go, no, everybody truly has a story, and if you make them feel comfortable and you don't compromise them and you just try to have fun with them, you'll get a story. So I'm talking to the people in the audience, and it's complete improv, right? So this is what I'm talking about, how like PC and everybody's on guard to catch you, right? So this woman comes up to me after the show. This is like a 50-year-old woman. She goes, I really liked your show. And when the voice goes up, there's a butt comment, right?
Right.
She goes, but I noticed you talk to the men a little bit longer than you talk to the women, and it would be nice if you could talk to them an equal amount of time. And I said, this is why I talk to men more than I do women, okay?
That's funny. That's funny. That was a proper joke at that moment.
Did she have a stopwatch? Was she like
No,
timing
but that
and
joke,
charting
that
it?
joke could have been reversed easily.
Yeah.
You could have easily made it. That's why I talk to women more than I talk to
Yeah,
men.
exactly. But you know what the thing, and I said to her, you're being inappropriate. And she went, what? I go, you're being inappropriate and you owe me an apology. She goes, what? I go, look, first of all, do you know how hard it is for an hour and a half to randomly pick people out of an audience and make a show out of it? Okay, secondly, you have a right to an opinion. You don't have a right to express it to me if it's not based in reality because, look, the fact of the matter is this is an improv. She goes, but. I go, there's no but. You owe me an apology. I go, it doesn't work that way. I can't go on stage and worry about everybody in the world. I got to talk to a woman. I got to talk to a man. I got to talk to a transgender gerbil. I got to talk to a... it doesn't work like that, right? So she goes, well, I go, you owe me an apology. And then her friend came out and started talking. She said, I go, look, I don't want to hear it from you. I put my hand up. You're gone too. And my son's pulling me away now, right? And I said, it doesn't work like this. Dad. You need, yeah, exactly. Because I think you have to say something or stuff doesn't change. So I confront people when they're jerks and I say something and I go, what you thought was going to happen, man, was you in your head were going to say, I'm going to talk to him and tell him that I didn't like what he did. And as a man, you're going to back off because of the Me Too movement, which I support. And you're going to go, and Paul's going to go, oh, I'm so sorry, miss. I'm a big fan of women.
You're so right.
My wife has a vagina.
Here's
I'm a
some
big
money.
fan. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
My wife has a vagina. Big
Apparently, I came through my mom's from what I've been told. I don't know, and then we just parted company. And I think you have to push back, otherwise that nonsense continues. Like now they want to have in colleges for kids, they want to have what they call safe space, not physical space, but like where the
Drives me nuts.
conversation doesn't offend. And I'm like, no, it's the opposite. You don't offend to offend, but you can't protect them because when they get out into the real world at 21, they're going to get eaten alive. It's the opposite. You have to have a core curriculum to get them ready. A level 101 course that I want to teach is arguing with customer service. Like that should be a course right there.
Exactly. Well, Luigi, right, is out of work. He calls the unemployment office in Pennsylvania, was on the phone for 2 hours on hold, and then when they answered the phone, the call was over within a minute.
Minute and 4
And
seconds.
they didn't answer his question.
You
And they didn't even answer my question.
and probably had an attitude.
No. She was nice.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well, now the whole thing, it's little things like bag. Like they just passing along New York. Now you can't have a plastic bag. And you ask for a bag, and it's like you just shot somebody in the head.
Yeah.
I had 8 items on the express lane belt, and I had to negotiate with this guy. He goes, "You want a bag for those?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You do?" And my wife's like, "Do you always have to confront?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think you do because these jerks are going to run the world." And she goes, and yeah, because they're assholes. And he goes, so I go, I don't know, am I allowed to swear?
Yes,
Because
you are
Yeah,
allowed
you
to
can
swear.
say
Yeah, you can say
good.
whatever you want.
Oh, fucking great.
No, we don't have to go. You can say that, but
If it's natural.
if it's not,
I'm kidding. So basically, I said to the guy, "Yeah, I'd like a bag," and he goes, "You do?" And he looked at me like I had 2 heads, and I go, "Yes," and he goes, "You do?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "You want a bag?" I go, "It's 8 items." He goes, "You want a bag?" I go, "It's 8 loose items." I go, "You know what? Forget the bag. Give me a live octopus. He'll carry it all home." Okay.
I had the same thing happen to me in Acme, too, and I'm not even kidding. The Acme right down here on Pass Yonk. I went in there, and I had 14 pounds of chicken I bought in bulk. It was like buy one, get one, right? So
14 pounds of chicken.
14 pounds of chicken, which is like 7-8 packages of chicken.
Do you have pet alligators? What are
No.
you doing with all that chicken?
I
You
eat it
feed-
during the week. So anyway.
That's
so
how do you think he fits in a medium so
I got
well?
14 pounds of chicken, right? 14 pounds of chicken. I put it on top of the table. And as soon as I'm done with the transaction, I watched, he didn't put anything in a bag. I pay for everything. He hands me a receipt. He goes, "Have a nice day." I'm like, "May I have a bag, please?" He goes, "You need a bag?" I'm like, "I'm going to put it in my fucking pockets." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do with all this chicken?"
Exactly.
I had to fight for a bag.
I'm going to eat it right here.
Exactly. Well,
Give
then
me-
the
give
other,
me a grill. I'll get rid of it right now.
Exactly. And then the other thing they do is they want you to do you could self-checkout because now they're just
Yes.
passing
Yeah,
the word.
'cause I love the self-checkout.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I just say to him, "I'll self-checkout, but you're going to have to give me the employee discount code." He goes, "Why, are you an employee?" I go, "Apparently I am now."
Ridiculous,
But the
man.
problem is these stores, Walmart, supermarkets, they don't want to pay people to be.
Exactly.
They don't want to pay people to have lines open. So
Exactly.
they only have 2 lines open. There's 50 people in line, and that's why they had to create these self-checkout
Yeah,
lines.
well, it happened
And now
in-
when I go into like a Home Depot and they don't have a self-checkout, I get pissed off.
Yeah. Well,
Because there's a guy with 72 and I used to be that guy, but I would always go to when we did this. By the way, what do you think of the
It's
Robin and
beautiful.
I and Luigi? We did this
It's
whole thing.
beautiful.
This
This is
was this was a moldy, dusty, nasty paneled
Tony,
stadium.
Tony is Italian after all. He knows how to do all of this stuff.
You did this by hand.
Everything.
See what's buried underneath.
Oh yeah, you should see it.
I
No,
like the
everything.
wood. I
We
like
used to
the
have another
wood.
intern.
Yeah,
Those
it's
are
really
all
nice.
wine boxes from our friend Ed Nast, who works for the State Liquor Control Board.
I like the
Robin
fireplace.
stained them all. Everything here we did. Everything.
The bathrooms, and your bathroom's got that seat that cleans itself.
bidet.
Yeah, that's the
bidet.
bidet.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
bidet.
Because it
Washes your ass,
oh,
everything, your
my
balls,
God,
whatever
yeah.
you need.
I married it. I like it.
It
Did
literally
you
blows
use it?
you.
Did you push the water to go up, and then you can?
I
move the
pushed it, but
jets?
I was looking at it and I saw it come up. I'm like, whoa, I got to come back later.
Absolutely, yeah.
but the whole you even mentioned Home Depot. Listen, I go there. I've spent. I think if I added it up, like 6 years of my life wandering around Home Depot trying to find something because nobody knows. It's a retirement home for carpenters and plumbers and
Yes,
electricians.
You're exactly right.
absolutely.
They
And they're
have
good
that
people.
smock with their name. They're good people, but they have their smock with the name. It's not so that you know their name; it's so that they remember who they are.
Exactly.
But
When's
if
Joe Biden going to be there? That's what I
oh
want
my
to know.
God, exactly. And if you do work there, please just stay in your own damn department.
Yes.
You go into the department and Robert's supposed to be in siding, but he's in paints. He doesn't know shit about paints. Just stay.
You're absolutely right. And again, I don't blame the people.
No, they should just have cameras in the ceiling like Vegas, so when these people wander, you can just yell like, "Robert, get out of paint and go back into siding." You know what I mean?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. You know, you put electric collars on. Put shock collars on. Electric fence the whole Home Depot for the people that work there. It's not a bad idea.
They wandered down the wrong aisle.
Shit.
Well, Robin and I have our own bags. I mean, sometimes we go on and get half a gallon of milk. You just get a plastic bag or a paper bag.
Yeah.
But we have the bag. We have the refrigerated bag, which is zip up.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
like,
That
if you're
thing's
buying
pretty
ice
badass.
cream or
Yeah.
milk,
Yeah.
and you're in Jersey and you want to have the thing sitting in a hot car, and you zip it up and it keeps it cool for a little while.
Right.
You don't want diseases in that stuff.
No.
But we don't have like 50 bags.
Yeah.
But when we lived in L.A., and in L.A., They don't even offer you
No.
bags.
You
They don't
have
even
to-
offer you
Well,
bags.
you have to pay. You have to pay if you want one of their plastic bags. You have to pay for it. I think it's 25 cents
Is it
per
25
bag.
cents
I
now?
think it's gone
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like, and you mentioned the Home Depot line. Like there were 11. There's 11 registers where I was at this one, and one self checkout was open, and one other register was open, and there was a line like 50 miles long, and I snapped, and the guy's just standing there going, nah, and he's waving you to go.
It's
I'm
why
like,
not be at another register?
Right. Thank you. I'm like, instead of you, and I start screaming, like, pointing me. I know which way to walk. Go do ding-a-ling-a-ling on the register so I can get the out of here.
Exactly.
Instead of pointing me in the, I know. I walk forward,
And then they have somebody standing at the door so they could check your receipt.
Yes.
While there's 50 people in line.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
People
unbelievable.
steal so much from there.
Well, and actually,
Jesus.
we found out that you can just walk out because they won't run after you anymore. They
you-
literally they have
They're not
been-
allowed to.
They can stop you if you are in the store.
So if
which
you're a
I'm like,
criminal and you're
technically-
listening to the show right now,
Not true.
No.
Someone offered me a job to do it. They have secret shoppers that are in there. I'm not kidding. They
No,
have
I
secret security.
Oh, like undercover?
absolutely.
And they will get you. They will. It depends on the person.
They are
if
not
they got the sand
allowed-
to go approach someone and know how to do it properly and try to get them back in the store. But you can sit there as a patron and as who stole something, not a patron, who stole something and go, "F you, I'm not coming back." And then you can't chase them
You
out
can't
of the
chase
parking
them.
lot.
Who's the undercover? Is it is it that 90-year-old guy with a walker
No,
crawling on
no,
himself?
just normal, regular age people, man.
Boy, I
Now-
would never thought he's packing. Yeah.
Joey
I mean,
Bonocco, I think he might be Italian as well, says, "Hey Paul, when are you coming to Denver to perform?"
I'm gonna be. We're looking to come the probably after second half of the year, either Denver Improv or the Comedy Works. So if you follow me at Paul Mecurio, one R in my last name, not two, because if you put two, there's Australian.
And it's not Mercurio, it's
Mercurio,
Mecurio.
right.
Mecurio.
Thank you.
Boom.
Now, it really is Mercurio, but the Australian actor who was in Strictly Ballroom and Exit to Eden, this guy Paul Mercurio, got in the Actors Union before I did, and because of this idiot, I had to change the spelling of my name. Yeah, so it's but it is Mecurio.
Okay.
At Paul Mercurio.
And you can follow you on Instagram. Everything's the same. See, that's good. You don't have an Instagram where it's Paul Mercurio
No.
123 underscore.
No. And
It's Instagram. It's Twitter.
It's
Facebook.
Facebook.
And your website is paulmercurio.com.
And
that's where all your tour dates
exactly,
and stuff are, right?
And the Paul Mercurio Show, my podcast. And
Now, how often do you do your podcast?
I do it once a week. Oh, and I have a YouTube channel that we just started up too. It's
Nice.
Again Paul Mercurio, so there's a lot of video there.
We
But
need to come up and see your show.
yeah, I would love you guys.
We're
to come
coming up to New York at the end of
Yeah.
February because I'm doing the Barrett Sports Media
Well,
Conference
why
up
don't you
there.
let me know? And you also
Be
come to a
something.
late show taping too if you want to come.
Sweet.
And get your tickets. Yeah.
You know, my son, Chris, who lives in Delaware, he got tickets and he went up to New York just to go see the Late Show because he's a big Colbert fan.
Uh-huh.
And you were there. So you're the
Yeah.
audience warm-up guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know the
I'm a
Roots
big
and all
deal.
those guys?
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Well,
It's kind of a big deal, you know.
No. Yeah, it's great. You know, we probably do like a bottle of vodka just before the show. Just to loosen up.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to warm up.
Yeah,
People don't realize how hard that is.
It is.
Because I had a buddy, the late great Brody Stevens,
Oh,
who I
yeah.
knew in L.A., and we were on the Best Damn Sports Show. He was the audience warm-up
Yeah.
guy on the Best Damn Sports Show. We got to be great friends. He would call in our shows all the time. And then the
him.
day when we found out
Oh.
that he
Yeah,
had
it's
committed
sad.
suicide, you want to talk about just, wow.
Yeah.
This is a guy who loved life.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, enjoy it. He had so many great isms, Brody-isms. And then you see somebody like that
Yeah.
decide that he just couldn't handle it anymore.
And you don't see it coming either. Usually, it's like they mask it.
Well,
I mean, Richard
comedians
Jenny was
especially,
like
yeah.
that. Richard Jenny was like that. Nobody. I was talking to a comedian friend of mine the other day.
Robin
who knew
Williams?
Vic. Robin Williams. Like
I
you
mean,
don't see it.
all these comedians, because the comedians, a lot of comedy is based on tragedy in their own lives.
Yeah.
And they have become so adept at out in public being that funny man
Right.
or woman.
And there's
And
also
then-
a neediness. I always say if my I was just looking at that. Are you drinking olive oil?
No, people are asking me it's not pee, it's not olive oil.
It looks
It's-
like olive
and
oil.
it's not the contents of a catalytic converter that I just stripped on Passyunk Avenue from some guy with a caddy with New Jersey license plates.
By the way, that thing is filled with platinum. That's why it's worth
No.
so much.
Yeah,
We
it's
looked
platinum
that
and
up.
other precious metals.
It's a new thing we're trying because he has this really bad arthritis in his hands. Turmeric is in liquid
or
turmeric.
turmeric, depending on what neighborhood you get it in. You know what I'm saying? So Robin puts it in a bottle of water for me. I'm getting older. It happens. And we're trying to eat out. That's what happens when you live in the Northeast. Because I lived in L.A. for 11 years. I was in great shape. I was riding my bike. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
Here you're sitting here. We had no snow, but every day it rains, and it's miserable out.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't want to go out and do anything.
Right. In L.A., you're eating like vegetables and fruit, and here you're just rolling up hunks of cheese and swallowing it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
With a steak and cheese. Is that what you call it? You don't call them cheese steaks, though, right?
We call it steak and cheese, but I'm either going to Gino's. I'm probably going to go to Gino's and get at least one while I'm here. No?
Gino's my buddy. I know all these guys.
It's good.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I mean,
well, our favorite place is a little pizzeria
up in Belmont, on Belmont Avenue called Mama's.
Amazing.
Nobody even
Steak and
well,
cheese?
the locals know it.
It's
the
so
greatest steak
then I'm
and
gonna
cheese
go
you'll
there.
ever have.
What's it called?
Mama's Pizzeria.
All right, I'm going to go there.
It's up off City Line Avenue. You know where the City Line and Monument Road there. Belmont Avenue is right above, next light. You go down, and it's a little pizzeria, but they have the greatest. I mean, it is packed with a pound of meat and cheese. I mean, it's like 50,000 calories. We only do it once a year.
Chris F29 says, Mama's is the best.
It's the best cheesesteak ever.
All right,
because it's unlike any other. And most cheesesteaks are very similar.
Right.
But Mama's is like no other cheesesteak.
The steak is good? It's
like filet mignon in there. I'm telling you.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
And the
fantastic.
cheese, I mean, it's got, if you're a cheeses freak like I am,
Yeah.
it is absolutely. Now, Luigi, did you ever come up and have one of those?
I haven't
brothers?
been to Mama's.
What's the matter with you, man?
Yeah, well, you're in good shape, though. You got right.
Yeah, he works out.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Why do you think he gets laid all the time? I mean,
telling
look
you,
at him.
he's
Because I don't have a
amazing.
job. That's why I got nothing to do. That's
A nice shirt. He shops at the Baby Gap.
right. That's right. I got a sponsorship to him. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding, man. I'm not even kidding.
I love it.
Baby.
You got huge. Your arm. You're like.
He's jacked.
It's a large shirt, man. What do you
No,
want
I'm
me to
not.
do?
I'm joking about the shirt. You are in great shape. Did you play football growing up, or
A little
sport?
bit.
Yeah.
boxed.
Get
He
this,
did everything.
he was a fat kid. Like, you should see some of the pictures
Oh, you
of
know,
when he was
I
younger.
was
Yeah.
like
Paul,
when I was
listen,
11,
my
12
name's Luigi. I got a brother named Mario. My psychologist and I could do 2 hours easy.
Yeah.
Easy. He wants about one of a
And guess what his brother's kids' names are?
Well, they're Mario and Giovanni. But my brother's wife's name.
Fredo?
No, Fredo. My brother's wife's name is Daisy. He actually Mario.
That's
grew
our
up and
dog's
married
name.
The frickin' he married the princess from Super Mario Brothers. It worked out. I was named after my father's father. My brother was named after my mother's father.
Yeah.
And then this fucking game comes along and ruins my entire life. Horrible, man.
Our dog is named Daisy.
Now, Paul, are you familiar with Twitch?
I am not that familiar with it.
So right now, you're seeing the live stream over there with
Right.
all the comments.
Robin's the director. I mean, look at this. Looks like Mission Control
Yeah,
in
now
here.
what- so
Robin
somebody just
switches
put like
the cameras.
Yes.
Who's doing that? Is that
So
Yeah, they're putting
our,
stupid stuff on
our
Tony's face.
followers, our fans can, if they are subscribers,
And
they
you
can
subscribe
put
for free with Amazon Prime
No.
because Amazon owns. And it's $5 a month. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can
We have
subscribe.
Amazon Prime.
Subscribe to subscribe to Twitch TV, and you get $5 a month. And if you have and the good thing is you don't have to sign up for a year. You do it for a month. And then if you want to re-up, you do it again. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. I mean, what better deal can you get than
It's
that?
amazing. And so now they are watching either on their computer, their laptop,
Correct.
their
There's
phone,
an app,
whatever.
and to follow and download the app, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to subscribe, which opens up a couple more things for you, like you can watch the archive shows, you can or you can put masks on Tony's face.
You have walk-up sounds. People have
Uh,
sounds where they walk. It's all this crazy stuff that people
So
put
it's
on.
interactive.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
Way
there's a
interactive.
steady stream of people who are commenting on everything we talk about. It's really interactive. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the future of radio and TV. It's all on demand. Everybody wants on demand. They want to
How-
watch it when they want.
So the last time I was on with you, it was radio. How long have you been doing this?
This is now a full year. Twitch is now 1
Yeah.
year, but we've been doing podcasts for 5 years
yeah.
now.
Yeah, I think I was on your podcast. But
Yeah.
I was like,
Correct.
this is amazing.
Actually, Tony's been doing this format forever. It just took a while for the technology to catch up.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Joey
That's what it
Binoco
is,
in
man.
Denver is saying, I'm listening from a gondola at Vail.
Oh, good for
That's
you.
where he's listening.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, you got a
Wow.
chick up there with you, man?
I was
You
gonna
want to
say.
talk about a good ride.
If you have any guts, ski with no pants there. Nancy. We're Amazon Prime members. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
easy,
very
man.
cool.
So you just got to get some equipment. Not
Yeah,
just,
you don't
but
need
like-
all this.
No,
Because
you
you
don't
see,
need
we
all
have
I'm sure-
multiple
Now,
cameras,
this is a walk-up sound right now. This is Rebel Man 9311's walk-up sound.
and it's private eyes.
Camera? Cool.
So there's
So-
a camera there on you. Where's the camera?
The hammering.
Is this camera on me
That's
now?
your camera
Yeah.
right there.
This is my camera.
I
no,
have-
this one. I'm pointing right here.
I
Oh,
have
there's another camera
there's
there.
camera there.
I have 4 cameras going on.
How many
I'm gonna start
cameras?
stripping.
4 cameras.
There you go.
Can I have a poll, please?
The only thing we don't have is POV yet. We're working upskirt, POV. We want to get all the angles on the show because people demand that kind of
We
content.
got a
Paul.
bang bus right out back. This show never stops, Paul. We keep it churning, baby. We keep it churning.
And it looks good. People think we're like in a real studio.
No,
we're in
it
my
looks
basement.
really great.
We call it the cellar now. Basements are old
Yeah,
school with
no.
the paneling, and the
Abashuzet.
yeah, Abashuzet.
Abashuzet.
So now, who can you switch to do like a? Can you do a
Yes.
single?
Yeah.
Who,
Yeah.
who you? Who
Robin's
I'm-
doing
I'm
everything with
controlling
one
everything.
See,
computer.
look, Paul. No, now you got just used to it.
Whoa.
See, she's producing, she's
Look at
directing.
that. Look at how handsome
Now,
Tony is.
And then the
I
other
look like
thing,
an old man because I am an old man.
There are some people that we call them the sad children are on Instagram. Instagram is the only company or platform that doesn't play nicely with Twitch. And so all of our Instagram followers, I keep telling them, if you want to see the full show,
You only
with
can see
all-
my face on Instagram. You
Well,
don't
no.
get the full 4-camera shot,
I did
wide shots,
change it.
3 shots.
I changed it so that people can only see Paul right now.
Okay, that's good. They only want to see. They
Right.
know what
No,
I. They know what I
Exactly.
look
They
like.
know what I look like.
But everybody on Instagram, if you're not on Twitch, then you're only seeing one camera at a time, and you only get to have 1 hour, and then I have to restart it, and you don't see the chat room. So
And we
I
do
wanna-
whatever the hell we want, as you can see here.
Yeah,
we don't stop
absolutely.
for commercials.
Yeah.
We just do our thing, man. And this is why I think podcasts are so popular.
Yeah.
You know, you can sit down with a guest and do an hour. You can do a half hour.
Yeah.
It's not, we're up against it, Paul. I'm sorry. Where are you going to be appearing
Yeah,
this weekend?
exactly.
You don't
Get
got
the
anybody
hell
going
out of
like
here.
this. You got nobody giving you the wrap.
Speaking of which, we were speaking earlier about the PC movement and the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
We actually tomorrow are going to have Jeremy Roenick on,
Oh.
who was just a victim of
Yeah.
the whole PC Me Too movement and was let go from NBC from something that he said on a podcast.
Right.
He's going to come on and talk about, this whole thing is like you can't make jokes anymore. Like there's a lot of times because Tony and I have worked together forever. Luigi and I have worked together forever. We make jokes. They don't make us feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Somebody else might hear it and it might make them feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry, but I'm not offended. And in this particular case, there was the same thing with him. The person that he was speaking about was him and his wife's best friend.
Right.
Who they went on vacation with all the time and hung out with.
And he's a good-looking guy, and he said something like,
they asked, they said, oh, you guys are, you hang out a lot together. And he says, well, I wouldn't mind it if it happened, but it's
like
never
a three-way.
gonna.
Yeah,
Right.
we did a four-way, the four of us.
Exactly.
That wasn't a big
Exactly.
deal.
It was great for me. I don't know about you, Paul, but it was great for me.
One of my favorite drops that I always play is, what's better than this? And I always play
Chicks at the same time.
2 chicks at the same time,
Did
man,
you
right?
hear what happened to Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Yes,
What
I
happened
saw
now?
that.
He sat down and did an
Other than
interview.
the movie, the Sonic movie, which they've
that's what it's
rebooted 50 times.
But
It
listen,
sucks. Yes.
So he's sitting down one-on-one with the reporter, and they're doing something for Sonic the Hedgehog. And she asked, Jim, you've done all these things. Is there anything left on the bucket list that you need to do that you want to do? And he goes, yeah, you.
Oh.
Just like, but so tongue-in-cheek, Jim
Right.
Carrey.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Was she hot, by the way?
Yeah.
Would you
It
do
doesn't
her?
even matter.
I do
I
anything.
know.
She's a two-bagger. You put one on her head and yours.
I do a catcher's mitt right now if you can find it. So, what I...
It's got to be a worn-in catcher's mitt or a brand new
Yeah,
one.
you break it in, Tony, get the oil in there,
Yeah,
let
get a
the,
little
set the
bang
car
in it, yeah.
tire on it.
She got completely flustered.
Yeah,
she's young.
She didn't know what to do. She was laughing about it.
And
she didn't go on social media and bash Jim or any of those things like
No.
that. She took it as a joke. But what happens? Everyone else
Oh, yeah.
jumped on top of Jim.
I'm on my Yahoo feed last night. I'm looking around, and it's that clickbait, the way they
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And I go on, I'm like, and I looked at it, and he literally went, you, and she went, and then she went back. He goes, no, I'm serious. And then that was it. It was like 12 seconds of that.
That was
and
it?
they made it into this thing. And then he got her pregnant on camera, which
Right.
I
Well,
thought
that,
was
you
a
know,
little
yeah,
weird.
Yeah,
No.
you can't go that
No.
far.
I got an invite to the baptism.
But you're right. Like it's that's what I was saying earlier.
It's
There are
crazy.
people. It's like the woman outside the theater. There are people who are on the lookout. Who and look, everybody has to have a sense of humor. Otherwise, and then you don't get to pick and choose. Like I go on the subway, right? I understand if you have any. Like I think women should be equal to men, but you can't pick your spots on that, right?
Right.
So I go on the subway.
Which line? The Broadway line?
I
Which
was on
one?
the
7th
Lexington,
Avenue?
456.
Okay,
the
beautiful.
green. Thank you. People don't know, and then with the thing, you go on.
Yeah,
and
there's like 50 different trains, but you got to look for the right nom.
Oh, yeah,
uptown,
exactly.
downtown.
Right.
I've never taken a train to New York, so this is going to be new for me.
No, the New York subway system. We're not talking about the
subway
Amtrak
system. Yeah.
or New Jersey Transit.
There's a 456. There's the homeless line where you just go on and just you're
Sleep.
traveling with homeless people.
You know what train I never found, and I want to find it? I want to find the one that's the station where the midnight meat locker is.
Oh,
Remember the movie? The movie where there's a station that's at the end, and then they kill all the people and put them on there, and then the aliens underneath there
You know,
eat
that's
all
so
these
funny.
people.
That's
You
the
know
one
whose movie that was?
That's
One of
the
his
one
first
I
movies.
don't want to
M.
be
Night
on.
Shyamalan?
No.
What's his face? The guy from Philly.
Yeah.
One of the
That's M. Night
great.
Shyamalan.
No.
No, the actor who's like one of the hottest actors on earth.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper.
Oh, he
Bradley
was in that?
Cooper's in that
Yes.
movie.
It was one of his first movies,
Yeah,
right?
you got to see it. Midnight Meat
It
Train.
is
It's
the
called.
glorious.
It is the sickest movie ever.
Sickest
Meat
movie.
Train, that's my Tinder handle.
Midnight Meat Train or Anytime Meat Train?
Anytime.
Midnight Bradley Cooper. I watched that movie one night. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping around. This is a couple years ago. And I see this. I'm saying, Bradley Cooper, Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even on Cinemax. So it wasn't one of those softcore porn things.
Right.
It's a really bizarre movie. And the actor, who's the big British guy, who's the
former wrestler or something like that, right?
no, I don't think he
Or
wrestled.
no, maybe he was a soccer player.
Yeah, he was a soccer player.
Soccer player.
Not Vin Diesel.
Vinny Jones.
Vinny Jones. Now, Vinny Jones has been in a lot of things.
He's in
Big
everything.
guy, yeah. He plays. I don't want to give the movie away,
You just did, pretty much.
but it's an interesting story. And I always was one. Every time I go on the New York subway, I wonder where that station is.
Well, it's entertainment on that subway. I literally saw a week ago a rat running in, because you see them on the track.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But this
I couldn't
rat
deal with
was
it, man.
running on the tracks. There was no train coming. It was just on the tracks with a whole green apple in its mouth. I swear to God, it was the size of my fist, the apple. It was bigger than
was eating
an
healthy.
inch. And that's exactly what I said.
Hey.
And this is what a city does to you. Philly, New York, Boston, big cities make you jaded after a while. You've seen it all, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, I would have been like, oh, that's gross. And I'm like, good for him. He's eating healthy.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yeah, he had his little Lululemon pants on. And,
He's got his new Brooks.
exactly. I yelled like, go rat. He didn't hear me because he had his rat earbuds in.
He went meatless. I mean, that's hey.
Exactly.
Now, was it a Granny Smith?
It was a big green Granny Smith, and then right next to him was the pizza rat, just chowing down, giving him the finger, like this is how rats
I
eat,
love
buddy.
the pizza rat video. Did
Oh,
you see
my
that
God,
one?
yeah.
Where the guy has a slice, the rat has a slice of pizza, and he's going down step by step down the New York subway steps.
I'm actually getting texted right now to ask Paul questions, saying
Okay, go
On
ahead.
your Apple Watch.
on my Apple Watch.
All right, what do you want?
I'm
What do
so
you want?
white. I got an Apple Watch. It says, tell Paul, someone in the Twitch chat room wants to know from Mr. Wall Street, what's a great stock to own right now?
Now, are you still following that closely? I
Still
mean, once you're a
following
Wall
anything?
Street guy, you have to still dabble, right?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I mean, I actually did buying and selling companies, so I didn't do a lot of following of stock. But I got to tell you, I mean, you're talking about Apple. People were sort of knocking Apple, and I think that Apple stands on its own as its own company, and it's up so significantly. I think Apple is something, even if it's high per share, you buy it because nobody's been. They're almost impenetrable. There's no other company like that in an industry where no one else can really replicate what they do. Oh yeah, you got Android phones. That whatever.
Right.
No one's standing in line for 2 hours.
No, you know
And
what?
they have an
Wait,
addicted. They have an addicted client base.
Right.
They'll
he-
buy a new
right.
phone every year.
Here's the thing. Xerox, right?
Yep.
So people might be too young. Right. When you say, do you want a Xerox copy of that? It's when the name brand becomes
Exactly.
the noun,
Kleenex,
right? So now you
Xerox,
say,
yeah.
do you have an iPhone? I don't say, do you have an Android? I just mean generally.
Yep.
That's so when it's that much part of the culture, those are the things you want to go for because they keep saying, well, it's topped out, and I don't think it has. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was watching closely when Tim Cook took over. Because, you can't replace a Steve Jobs, but this guy did an amazing job.
Yeah, and the other kind, and Dean, one of our buddies down in Clearwater, he sits, he doesn't work, he sits around and he watches. He's got 2 TVs on. He's got CNBC, Fox Business Channel, now Yahoo Finance, and all he does is dabble in stocks, and he's been giving tips on the show. He told us Tesla, and I yelled at him, Tesla, it's just a car company, and then it went up to went up $500 in a week.
Right. I wanted to stay in business just to see Elon Musk dance awkwardly again. Did you see
Yes.
that dance that he did?
Yes.
The
He's
other one is
awkward.
Hard Rock. The company that runs the Hard Rocks is also a really strong stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though they're closing down stuff?
Well, they're opening others. I mean,
Yeah, so you're thinking there's a difference. The Hard Rock that's run by the Indian nations in Florida, that's not the same Hard Rock. That's called the
Seminole.
Seminole Hard Rock
Right.
Casino.
I
The
just-
one in Las Vegas is closing down, and it's going to become a Virgin hotel.
Right.
There won't be many virgins around, but it'll be the Virgin hotel.
It's a soft opening, Tony.
There you go. Nice.
Louise is pretty funny. It's pretty funny for,
absolutely.
for a grease ball from Northeast
With
Philadelphia.
14 pounds of chicken.
Exactly.
It was 16, Paul.
It was
Now, how long does that last you, the chicken? Now, you put them in
it lasts a
individual
month.
bags.
Yeah, of course.
You put them in little.
separate and everything like
Now,
that.
do you have
like-
one of the? Yeah, you put them in baggies.
Do you
What do you-
season it before you put it in, or you just like because it's protein, right? Low that keeps you like low
Well,
fat.
it's just whatever. I use it
It's
for all kinds of
easy.
stuff, for making all kinds of
It's
different
easy.
foods. Hey, take it out of the freezer, thaw it out, boom, you got dinner.
Cutlets.
Cutlets.
You put it
Chicken
in
cutlets?
whatever the whole.
Now, do you
whatever
get the
want.
mallet and you bang them down in plastic? You got to put plastic wrap on.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
If you're going to
exactly.
smash down the chicken breast
the
to make the
cutlets.
cutlet, you don't want a thick cut.
No, you got to
want
cook
it just
fast,
the right.
flash
yeah.
fry.
Right. And
Yeah,
then
of course.
you put a little egg, a little flour, you do the whole thing, the breadcrumb, and then
Oh
Absolutely.
man, you're making me hungry now.
No, you know what I'm saying?
I need a little chicken cutlet right now, a little linguine on the
I
side.
got 16 pounds of that shit in my freezer right now. Too. Let's make some.
Can
And you
do
didn't
that?
bring over one stinking chicken breast?
Like
Exactly.
yesterday, we couldn't
And
get
a
a hot
pot-
dog in the house.
I know, we had a hot dog on the show
Come
yesterday.
on, we get some that, a bottle of olive oil. We'll go nuts together. I really did think you were drinking your own
I know.
urine to survive.
I did the same thing. I said, Tony, what's going on, man? You're taking out what you're putting in. I mean, what's
I'll be choking the chicken later on. Thanks for all the recommendations.
Do you put cellophane on? Do you put
Yeah, you
strap
gotta
when you
do
choke
that.
it?
And then you bang.
bang it
But I
down?
have the double-headed one, the
mallet.
double side. The one side is flat, and then the other side's got
Yeah.
the little like
pointers on
triangle.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond.
Bang
pistol.
that
Yeah.
thing down there.
I use that mallet on the subway when the door opens and people won't move out of the friggin' door. When the door opens, asshole, move out of the friggin' doorway. Don't cut down the access by a half because you're too cool to move into the car. So I hit them with a hammer, and the cops go, "Thank you." That's
They
what
do.
They say.
Now, do you do the jumping? The big thing in New York now is to jump over the turnstiles because nobody can afford $2.75 to ride the New York City
Yeah.
subway.
No, if I'm going to go down, it's not over that. I just have the subway rats open the door for me.
Now,
and let me
speaking of
in.
subway rats, this just came across social media yesterday. There's some company or somebody that gives the awards for photography every year, whatever they are. And this one won first place, and this happens to be in the London Underground. And look at this. It looks like something out of a cartoon. It's two mice squabbling. Can you see? Hold on, let me pull it up bigger. You can see it on this
So
here.
it's two mice throwing down. Are they rats?
No, they're
rats?
mice.
They're mice.
They're
No,
mice.
they're mice.
In London,
They're
tube,
mice.
and they're throwing down, and the photographer takes that picture and wins all kinds of major
It's
awards.
a great photo.
Isn't that a fantastic photograph?
I think the white one, the one on the right, is on steroids. He looks kind of juiced.
Imagine this dude is laying on the floor of a subway to get that shot.
That's true.
So he can win a $10,000
Right.
prize.
Well, that guy used to work on Wall Street too. He was my office mate. And now you're taking shots of mice.
What you don't see is about 3,000 people behind him taking 3-to-1 odds on the other mouse.
Exactly.
That's what you don't see. About
Right. 10 minutes later, somebody kicked both of them onto the track. And
Exactly.
no, they don't do that in London. No,
they're very proper.
they're very proper. In New York, they would have been.
Skinned them alive.
But you've seen, Robin, when we used to go to New York every weekend, when I was doing Keith's show, we would go up on Friday, take the train.
Take the train, right?
And then on Saturday morning, we'd get up and walk through the city. Friday, we'd go out to dinner at a different restaurant every week. And then Saturday, we'd walk down 8th Avenue. And then there would be this Dunkin Donuts. Because I got to get a cup of coffee. I didn't want to pay $12 in the hotel for a cup of coffee. So we dropped by Dunkin Donuts. We get a coffee, and I'll get an egg sandwich. The following 1 week after we went there, that same Dunkin Donuts was closed and had like crime tape around it because they had video of
Which was posted on
All
social
over
media.
social
So we were
media.
able to see it.
that Dunkin Donuts was closed because there were rats walking around on top of all the donuts and
my
everywhere in the
God.
place.
Oh.
You've seen the one with the cakes and the one in the pastry shop?
Yeah.
Where the mice, no, it was pizzas. They were in this pizza place, and they had the slices in a glass case, and these mice are just going from pizza. Hey, I'll take the pepperoni. No, I got the sausage over there. These rats are just eating the pizza.
Was it Original Ray's?
No, I think it was the other one. You got to go to the original one.
This is what happened when everybody was like, oh, you need to get your cat spayed and neutered. No, you need to let them be prolific so
Yeah.
that they're out of there catching
That's
the
rat
mice.
bastards.
The rats are like, I can't eat pepperoni. It's just I break out.
Exactly.
I can massage later on tonight. I don't want to have to deal with a heartburn.
No onions. No onions for me. No
Yeah,
onions for me.
exactly. they never sit right. I can eat an infected, rabies thing, but not that.
Jimmy,
Now-
none of the Sicilian shit. I'm watching. I'm watching a little bit.
Now, Paul, I know we normally end around 3:00, which it is right now. We can go overtime. I know that you said that you had a couple of other things to do, and you asked how long you were going to be, and I said, half an hour-ish,
cool.
unless you want to.
Are we on a clock here? Did we
We're
give
not-
you enough time, or
but-
did Robin take too much of your time?
No,
I
not
want to
at
know
all.
if the woman
I
on
had
the
a
show here.
great time.
No,
I'm
I'm
having a
joking.
great
I'm doing
time.
your bit here. Now, Robin wants to know if she got enough time because we were dominating the conversation here.
No,
There's insanity in the control room.
This was my way of allowing him the easy out, just in case he needed to go.
No, he's Italian. He would say, "I got to get the hell out of here, you assholes. I'm tired of this
Right.
shit.
That's enough.
That's enough.
I want-
Basta."
Basta.
You know what I want? I want a slice of pizza with chicken, steak, and cheese. Oh, I'm so hungry right
I
now.
can get you that from Rosario's right off of 15th and Reed. There's a place that has that.
I have pizza. I don't like chicken on pizza.
Oh, I do.
I don't
I
do
can
that
get him a
shit.
Philly cheesesteak pizza. I can do that for him.
Philly cheesesteak pizza?
Yeah. It's good. Don't
Really?
say, oh, no, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal.
You serious right now?
I'm serious, Clark.
I don't want all that stuff on my pizza.
You don't like anything on the pizza.
No, I like extra
No, that's
cheese
not
pepperoni.
true, Tony. There's a
Tutti
pizzeria,
a tavola a mangiare.
I like
There's-
sausage, peppers, and onions.
Pietro's
That's on
on the oven pizza that has that short rib pizza with ricotta.
Oh yeah, that's different. But that's
fantastic.
a little white. That's a little one.
So
that's the one where they
good.
put in a
That
hot
sounds
coal
good.
iron and it's in the oven where it's all crispy
good.
and
That's
the little.
great.
They're smaller pizzas.
Yes.
They're not the
do you
big.
do this all? You guess you basically talk food, starve them.
Starving.
Don't give
I'm
them anything.
starving.
Yeah.
And
Did
they
you
make.
get-
And
did we
then,
give you a
then we have
bottle
to
of water?
then we have to
Power bar
watch
upstairs.
you drink urine all
You want
day.
some water, Paul?
Yeah, please.
How do we
Thank
not
you.
have a bottle of
No,
water
that's
for
all right.
him?
I'm just kidding.
Who's the PA on the show?
Do you like cold or water room temperature?
Well, I like it 62 degrees.
We have that
You can
right
do
now.
that.
High maintenance. I'm one of those guys.
We got beer. You want a beer?
No, I'm good, thanks.
We got vodka. We got a little Hennessy left up there.
You have any heroin? I'm a big
Well, that's coming in later on. A shipment comes
Larky
in.
Bob.
So you did all of this. This is amazing.
Everything, the
You're
floor,
really
the
handy.
tiles, right, Luigi? We
Yeah,
had it
everything.
dug down because these old homes, you couldn't walk.
Well, because
the
they were
people
all
short.
old Italian families that lived here. They didn't need to have high
built
heels.
And so you bang your head when you come down. And this place had mold, and it had the paneling up, and they pulled the paneling off when we
So
bought
how
it.
did you raise the ceiling?
They
They
dug
dug down.
We went
See, you
down.
can see where the original floor is. You see where the steps is, where that one line is,
Oh,
the
yeah.
silver.
That's the floor.
That's where the
that's
original
where I tripped
floor.
or I'm going to sue you.
No, you didn't trip down there.
Just kidding.
So they had to dig down over 2 feet just so they could then
amazing.
pour the concrete.
You know what I
and we
like
put
it-
the steps in. We did all of it.
I like that wall. Like you left it natural, the brick and the cement.
No, there was actually plaster over it. We chipped it all off, but that bottom, that was the actual foundation, which is all
That's
stone.
when this was probably built when?
In 1910,
I think.
Yeah, this house is over 100 years old.
There wasn't any plumbing in the house when they first built it. They had outhouses here. Oh. Yeah, it was.
And they had
yeah,
coal
seriously,
chutes
Yeah, seriously.
in the back
I still
basement.
pee in the corner just for good measure.
It's like you're in San Francisco. Just act like you want to go out. You
San
can't,
Francisco, just go, man.
Just
exactly.
go, baby.
Yeah.
Now, are they peeing and pooping on the streets
Oh
of New York?
my God! You know what? It's the homeless. Especially on the subway. And
it's not just homeless people, by the way, doing it.
No, it's not. It was.
When you got to go, you got to go.
No, Stephen Colbert was doing it the other day.
Was he really?
Well, it's because I'm Stephen Colbert. I take a shit wherever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a problem with that? I have Emmy Awards.
Shit
No, but
on liberals, I might as well
had
shit on
this,
that
you
too.
have this thing and you see these homeless people and you try to. There's a lot of them scamming you, right? But then there's some where you go. So there's this homeless guy near my apartment building and he had no legs from the knees down and he had a bucket.
then
out.
you know they're real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not proud of this, but this is how suspicious I've become. Before I put the money in the bucket, and I did give him money, I leaned all the way over
To see
to
if
make
he was
sure he
like-
wasn't hiding his legs like Eddie
Yes.
Murphy in
Yup.
Trading
Yes.
Places.
Yes.
Right. Which
Yup.
is not. And people go, oh, that's terrible. I go,
Yeah.
shut up. It's the city does that.
happens.
Which was really stupid on my part. Like the minute I dropped the money in the bucket, he was going to jump up and go, gotcha. I had him all the time. Start tap dancing, But it just
Starts breaking the river dance.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I don't think I've ever had. You a big sports fan at all? or-
Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh.
Now, were you a Providence Friar guy up there?
Providence Friar and all New England teams, so you can hate me.
The Celtics.
The Celtics, the Red Sox, who just traded Mookie Betts. Jesus
I know.
Christ. Oh, my God.
I was ripping Red Sox fans yesterday because they came after me because I.
You were ripping everything in Boston yesterday.
Yeah, and that was a joke. I love Boston. It's one of my favorite cities. I was there before the Big Dig was done. Again, so was everybody. It took like 100 years to do that
Joey
job.
Benoka says, when I'm in Philly over the summer, can I take a tour of the basement? I'll bring lunch.
Absolutely, yeah. We let people come down, and not just we don't have an open door policy.
We
we
don't let
actually
any
have to check
distracted
it.
odds come walking through the
Yeah,
door.
no, but we have people come down. We have friends, family, Anybody comes down here.
It's a great space. It's really comfortable. I don't know where that was.
That was somebody just walking into the stream.
That's
to the chat.
Is that what they do?
No, actually, that is somebody now subscribing. Fairweather Marvin is just subscribed, so that's the notification. They get a little dancing.
Take it or leave it with Fairweather.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So thank you, Fairweather.
So wait, how did that? Did someone make that noise?
This
at
is
home?
They're
the
called
program.
walk-up sounds. You know how
Yeah.
baseball players have walk-up music?
Oh, yeah.
So on Twitch, you can make your own walk-up sound so that when you come
Or
on.
when you subscribe.
So
or
that's
follow-
that person's walk-up sound.
No,
Yeah.
this is when somebody subscribes. Anytime somebody subscribes.
oh, we get that, oh, yeah?
That'll get the oh yeah.
See now,
and
look,
the-
they got an elf playing on Tony's head.
Say, look, they could put things on me and
That's
humiliate me. And, hey, I'm your private dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. And we get tips. We have a tip jar. It's like the old piano bar. People can throw
yeah.
tips at us. We call them bits.
Yes.
And so we're like basically we're like homeless people, just
Begging for change.
We're like the old minstrel shows where you would beg for money. You know what I mean?
Tap dance.
And then we have lotions, potions, ointments, suppositories, anything you need. If you come down and you need some turmeric, maybe
Actually,
that'll
we
help
do.
you.
We have a lovely partying.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we got you
Gifts.
stuff.
Yeah, you get swag on this show.
Really?
You
Yeah,
don't
good
just
stuff.
come in here and get
And
thrown out.
Paul, it comes with its own bag.
Oh
Yes.
my God! Yeah,
Yeah, we're not
You guys-
gonna make
and
the
its
same-
own piece of tape.
And you just throw the bag in the street when you're done here in Philly.
But,
I mean, it doesn't matter. You know
these
what I'm saying?
are our Super Bowl sponsors, and two of them put these little bags together. So
What is this?
this is fantastic.
This is coral toothpaste.
It's brushless toothpaste.
Coral
man.
toothpaste. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They've been around for like 25 years.
No
but it's like-
fluoride.
They're strong. Open
Now you
that.
got to take the plastic off it.
It's
There's a
the
little
best.
plastic wrap around
It's
it.
the best, healthiest organic toothpaste that
Hey, wait,
you've
but
never
you don't
heard
need
of.
a brush for
Yeah,
it?
yeah, you need a brush.
You do.
But
They-
the one that Luigi has,
There's
it
mouthwash.
squirts. It's
What
like
is
a
this?
foam. That's a
That's the
mouthwash.
mouthwash.
It's a mint.
What
Now-
hint are you trying to give me? You're giving
No,
me
that's
all
what
the-
we're giving it away. You're gonna wait a minute.
And facial cream. That's what's in there too.
So what? I just shoot it in my mouth?
But no, you have to have a brush though. But there's a brush in there for you
Just
too.
do one, and you can switch it around actually if you wanted to. You should.
All right, there it is.
that's-
Let it cream up in your mouth, as she said one night. Let it,
I
get
gotta
a
get
little,
out of here. I think
Except-
I'm gonna lose it.
Get a
Except
little.
you
no,
probably want something to
no,
spit
you
it
want,
out
no,
with.
you want to brush it. Don't you have a bamboo brush in there in the package?
Don't
No,
use
you
the
don't wanna
mouthwash.
swallow
You
it.
don't want to swallow the. Use the water. Use the water, Paul.
No, hold on. There's a cup.
Here,
There's a
spit
cup
it in
right
my
there.
Eagles cup right here. They won the Super Bowl. They beat your Patriots.
he
Oh, you
just tried.
swallowed the whole thing.
Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
Now-
of humanity.
Not a drop on his chin either, ladies and gentlemen.
My shit is going to smell amazing.
Now here's the thing. It's actually not dangerous to do it with coral because it's all organic. It doesn't have fluoride in it. It is SLS free. It's
No, it's fine.
Quick,
It's
Tony, we
actually-
got to dig the basement a little deeper now.
Exactly.
You know what goes great with this? Chicken parm.
Oh, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it tastes so good.
No, it's good
Thank
stuff.
you.
It's,
Yeah, it's
the,
really
it's the new
great.
wave now. Everything's healthy. Everybody's organic. But there's no, fluoride. Remember when we were all convinced fluoride was important in our water?
Right.
Do you realize that people who work in fluoride factories have to wear like
Hazmat
suits and thick gloves
It's a poison.
to handle it? That's how caustic it is. But obviously in low doses, people thought it was good for their teeth, and it's not.
them opening up
It's opening up
everything.
every box in there.
The facial cream that's in there is expensive shit, though, Paul.
What is this?
Seriously.
that's
I
that's
eat
just regular
this?
toothpaste.
toothpaste. There's the foaming toothpaste and the non-foaming toothpaste. God, you were like a 5-year-old.
He's starving. The man is hungry. You got
Can't
no
eat.
food
No, you
for
don't
him.
eat that. You don't eat that.
Do you want some nuts? I have some nuts or something.
This would be nice.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
Luigi,
kidding. I don't know. No, I'm
Luigi,
good.
You know where the nuts
This isn't
are.
bad. This is like strawberry, raspberry.
Yeah, that's so.
But it's a toothpaste. It's not really an edible. You know what I'm saying?
It is now.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Cannabinoids in there.
And
Is that what they're
then-
called? Cannabinoids, or do you eat
Cannabinoids, no, they're
cannabinoids, whatever
Now,
the hell
the
it is.
last-
You
The-
see tomorrow on the
CDLs.
internet. Paul
The-
Mecurio had to cancel 5 shows because this poop was coming out like raspberries.
The other thing that's in there is from Nicolette Sheridan's products, Biolumiere. It's an all organic facial products.
This?
No.
No, that's more
There's-
the
it's
coral stuff.
Biolumiere. It's in there.
You'll
You can
see it. It's a little. There's two little. There's a container.
This looks like fun with my wife. What
That's
is
a,
that?
no. That's a toothpaste thing. You know when you get the toothpaste low and you
Oh,
try
I
to
thought it
squeeze
was
it
a-
out.
a
You can
guard.
use it's multi-purpose. You can take whatever you can think of
I
using. You
got-
just use it.
I just
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
Wait now, look, Luigi bringing down a little
Oh,
nut
look
tray.
at-
Don't you have any
look at that.
charcuterie?
There's-
No.
By the way,
good
that
bean?
was the same plate that the cat's food was on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You
Is
didn't
this
bring
it?
down.
Anti-aging cream?
Yes,
Yes,
that's it
it
right there.
is
You just that's
fantastic.
facial, and then there's another little tube,
You
which
can
is
give
a
it to
square
your
tube.
wife.
Yes.
Please,
but
she needs it. She's such a hag.
sounds- I'm assuming she's not listening to the show.
Oh my God, she's
So-
not. She's sleeping with 2 guys right now.
That's all right. It
So
happens.
you will truly enjoy all the products.
Oh yeah, this
There's
is awesome.
different
Thank
flavors
you.
that comes in, like cinnamon and
And it's good for
mint
kids too,
and-
because the good thing is the kids like this because they'll squirt it in their mouth, and then they'll still brush.
Yeah.
But it's not nasty. It's really good.
I
Yeah.
hand out
This
at all
is
my
awesome,
dates.
man. Thank you. And
Different
this is
flavors.
the anti-aging.
Yeah,
thing.
and then
Yeah.
there's also the eye. There's the eye.
No, that's eye. That's
This is the eye stuff.
Oh, there's the eye stuff.
Oh.
So
That
there's
goes under the eye.
that goes under the
Let me
eye,
show
and it
you.
does
Just
like
the-
little puffy things.
No, so just take a little. Yeah, Brett, he rips the box. He's like the. Do you like on presents? Do you just rip the paper, or do you do
yeah.
gently
Oh,
do
I
it?
like this. Is fancy.
No, you just ripped it apart.
All right, stop yelling at me.
I'm Italian. That's how I
No,
talk.
exactly. I was just kidding.
Okay.
Here,
Stop.
all right,
Just
so
a
now-
tiny, do a
hammering.
tiny
Just a little
bit.
bit. Yeah, just a little.
A little dabble, do ya?
Make it come out just a little like this. You know, just like the pre-cum, you know, when you see that and it just a little bit comes out and
Yeah, actually, I do. Yeah.
Hang on. Here.
We're all shaking our heads, but we all know.
no, you don't put it in your mouth. So just get a little tip just for a second. Put it on.
It's probably because you yanked it open. Did you
you
break
bust it?
something?
No.
Did you bust the stream?
Here, let me see it, Paul.
Oh, okay, Mr. Muscles. Go ahead.
No, they teach us as a baby gap.
Luigi, turn it upside down when you start it.
I hear you.
All right, let's see. Get just a, no, not in the not in the not
Clarky
in
Bob says serious swag.
not in your palm. You put it on the tip of your
No,
finger.
he pulled off the thing. See, it's disconnected.
God damn it, man! I can't even give you free shit without wrecking it.
I ate half of it.
We're gonna have to give him another one and then fix that later.
No,
They don't feed you
Oh,
like it's
there.
They
All
don't
right.
feed you like it's a punchline, do they?
No, they don't. No, they do. They have
just
food
do
there.
you go.
it from upside down. Turn it
Like
upside
this?
down, and then a tiny dip.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then what? Like right
Right
here?
underneath.
And
Yeah.
you go like
Like
this.
dab
and
it,
then
dab it.
But
You gotta
that,
do it like chicks.
that amounts enough for both eyes.
So then you go dab, 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 dab.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, it's nice and cool.
Yeah, it's-
AJ and San Antonio.
Tomorrow
Queer
night.
Eye for the straight comedians.
You
segment
have
going
a
on right
literal dumpster fire.
We do have a dumpster fire in here.
Now. It's
How does it
great
feel so
stuff.
far? You look 10 years younger already.
Anything to reduce the size of my lips in there?
No, most people
Sorry.
want their lips expanded.
Oh, I
you know how
used to
much
get in so
women
many-
would pay to have your lips?
People asked me if I've had collagen, no joke, and I used to get in so many fights as a kid. In Italian neighborhood, they'd call me fish lips. They'd call me like the N word and lips. And honestly, and this isn't even sounds like a joke. When I was 8, my lips were the same size as they are now.
Really?
I could whisper in my own ear. It was a mess.
Oh.
Wow.
They really were huge, and then I kind of grew into them.
Uh-huh.
And I was always self-conscious about them, and now people go, "Oh my God, have you had collagen in your lip?" I'm like, "No."
Your lips are so fabulous.
Oh my God, do I
Just
look
lie
like
to women. Say, hey, yeah, would you like to taste them? You want to see what it feels like to have beautiful lips like these?
Joey
then
Benoka.
squirt
Every
some
time
of it.
Tony, every time Tony laughs, it's so funny. It makes my day.
That's what I do. That's probably the one skill that I have is laughing. It's better than crying, isn't it? What's wrong with laughing? That means you're having fun.
You have a very infectious laugh.
See, that we even have tapes
Yeah,
of my
that's
laugh.
to laugh just before you have a heart attack.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
It actually
So
says
that
Tony wheezing. that's what I have it on there as.
See, people have gone online and bought you get a 20% off if you want to buy that online at coraltoothpaste.com. People love it. And by the way, I just spilled all my piss.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Tony,
Let me lick it up.
I hate to do it to you, buddy.
Someone's asking if I ever wrote for Howard Stern. No, I have not written for Howard Stern. But I
Paul,
think
people were
he's
asking
great.
earlier, do you remember the joke? Do you remember the first joke?
first
joke.
The first joke.
I
Can we-
actually
because
do.
everyone's been asking
The
for it.
$50 joke.
The
I had
$50 joke.
I got your joke for you right here. It was about. Oh yeah, I remember. It was this old house. You know that it doesn't reflect. Doesn't
That's
reflect
actually-
reality at all. Like on the actual show, the contractor's like under budget, on time, does extra work, clean shaven. But in real life, these contractors are over budget. They're hosing you on everything. They're drunk, showing plumber crack. You come home, they're sleeping with your wife and going through your sock drawer for money. And it did well. Like, it got a
Yes.
laugh. And the power of that, I think what happened was that box I watched my whole life, I heard other people's jokes come out. My joke came out. It just was like, it just totally overtook me. It was insane.
It's gotta be an amazing
And I
feel.
just became obsessed after that with like writing jokes and sending them jokes and stuff like that. And then once you do it, and anybody listening or watching, if you've done stand-up, you know, and then you get that laugh. And in the beginning, you really suck. Maybe if you have 5 minutes, you get one laugh, but you get that laugh and you go, oh my God,
It is.
And I always say, if my mother hugged me 2 more times, I wouldn't be a comedian.
When Tony was doing that, when Tony was fixing the house up, we had our own show going on saying "Fuck this old house" by Tony
Exactly.
Bruno.
No, we it's funny. All the videos we do, the most popular videos that we put up on YouTube is Robin, Luigi, and I working in the basement and actually
Home
doing
improvement
physical
stuff.
stuff.
Well, you know what? I find it, like, I love to watch like HGTV, those, the flipping and whatever, because I actually find it kind of relaxing to watch some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now they're doing. There's the ones that guys in Maine that build
The Maine cabin masters,
cabins.
yes.
And then there's the Alaska bush people.
Oh, I love those.
Tony
yeah.
watches all.
I
of
watch the
those.
Gold Rush Alaska shows. There's like 50 Alaska shows, and nobody lives there.
I know, exactly.
Everybody
I
in
think that's what
Alaska
it is.
has their own show.
That's what it is. If you live there, you're contractually obligated to have a show.
There's a pack of coyotes have their own show on the Animal Planet.
Yes.
It's a talk show and a variety show. They sing, they dance.
They're actually appearing on The View later on next week.
And that's someplace nobody wants to go.
I'm sorry, did I say something wrong?
No.
What do you mean the comedy segment went south?
This has been fantastic.
This is comedy gold
You
here.
don't like it? Get out.
This is not. We're not reading from scripts.
Yeah,
this
that's
isn't
okay.
prepared material.
But
That's all right.
Oh,
This
that's
is
Scott
called-
Cohn says you couldn't give him headphones instead of a weak gift bag. What are you talking about? That
got
gift bag's worth like
headphones on.
You know what,
$500.
Tony? How about this? Let's do a Florida segment because I think that Paul will enjoy this, and then we will end the show after that because we actually have a conference call that we have
What
to
time?
do today.
I don't want to make you keep the show going for me. I
No,
can
no,
go. I'll leave.
Yeah, we go. Let's go.
We got
to
music.
Florida.
You will enjoy this particular.
Enjoy your nuts, Paul.
You're gonna love my
we
nuts.
do a Florida segment because Florida.
If I put that anti-aging cream on my nuts, will they look supple
Yes.
and young?
They won't be they won't sag, and they won't wrinkle.
And because right now they look like 150-year-old
It's
men.
all right, man. This
Very
stuff will-
becoming of you, Paul.
It'll tighten those babies right up. They'll come right up under your chin. Meanwhile,
Jesus Christ.
let's go to Florida and get your daily update because, as you know, there's a whole Florida man culture down there. You know all about the Florida man.
We worked on the. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I worked on the Daily Show every morning. Every writer was assigned a newspaper to read stories from to pitch for the today's show, and we would get footage from all over the world. Every friggin' day, it was a Florida man. ...
Yeah, exactly.
And we used to get these a lot. We give them to Lewis Black to do. We used to get
Lewis
Florida.
Black's great.
Oh,
Yeah, we gave him 3 stories. We go like, what are we going to do with these stories? They're crazy, but they're too small for John. They're not national stories for John to do at the desk. We're like, give it to Lewis, and we'll string them together with some lame. And there was always every week, Florida man sees image of the Virgin Mary in an oil slick, in melted butter, in the snow. I swear to God. I swear to God. Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
Now let's get back
that's
to
how
our
this
Florida.
started. So the Florida story now. We are going to go down to
where?
St. Johns County, Florida.
Where the hell is St. Johns County, Florida?
I have no freaking clue.
Is that near Hernando County?
Ponteverde.
Ponteverde.
It's next to Seton Hall, Florida.
Exactly.
Ponteverde, Florida. And Luigi, looking for a job. We want to move down to Florida, so maybe you can move down there first, get this job, get things ready for
I
us.
could use the sun.
And this job proves one thing.
What?
That Joaquin Phoenix doesn't know what he's talking about. Because Joaquin Phoenix says, don't milk cows, don't you drink milk. But now there are people looking for people to milk animals.
Yes, but
Let's go
not
to
a
our milk
cow.
correspondent, Miss Robin, who does a body good.
Not a cow, Tony. Not a cow. It is now, there is a job search going on for the next milker of buffaloes.
Buffalo milkers?
Buffalo
Whoa.
milkers.
Ooh.
That is right. The backyard buffalo.
Male or female buffaloes? Which one you milking?
I'm not jerking off a buffalo.
I have a
Not
feeling
doing it.
that it's
Things
probably
will never be that bad. Things will
probably the
never
same
be that bad.
If it's a female, there's a much bigger show involved
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
There is.
But Backyard Buffalo, a dairy farm in Pontevedra Beach, Florida, is
Yes.
searching for a new milker. And here, this is
What happened to the old milker?
This is for the new urban
the real funny
cowboy.
question.
He was stomped to death by a bull. He grabbed the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
he did. He made a mistake, and
He
he's
used
no
his
longer
mouth.
there.
That was the problem.
The new urban cowboy or cowgirl for buffalo milking position was posted by the farm on Wednesday. So
and they
that
have
was
like
yesterday.
5,000 people already Applying for it?
Now here are some expectations, perks that come with the
That's
job.
not enough
Just-
money.
How
So
much?
part-time job. It's only 4 hours in the morning,
not
4
bad.
to 5 days a week.
Get the
So
rest of your
that's not-
afternoon.
get the rest
Get
of-
the rest of your afternoon.
To hate yourself.
They are looking for someone who's committed, patient, because sometimes it doesn't come right away.
Right.
And
That's
thorough.
what she said.
Tell me
Hey,
about
I'm
it.
talking about. Nobody complains about that.
Willing to learn and do some
I've had
independent
complaints.
thinking, but I think that's what happened. The independent thinker went over to the bull
Well,
side.
wait, why do you need it when you're jerking off a bull? What do you need independent
Well, no,
thinking
this
for?
isn't jerking
No.
off a bull.
Oh,
wait
This
a
is
minute.
milking the
Robin,
female.
finish that. You get products that are not sold at the market?
You 10 hours you get $10 an hour during training, and then they up you to $13 to $15 as you become better, faster, and independent.
So wait,
We
does
have
that-
tape, by the way.
What do you got?
Another satisfied bull.
now
Are the female bulls still called bulls?
No.
What do they call
No.
the female bull?
Cows.
Oh, those
Cows.
bitches, yeah.
Cows. I'm with Paul. It says that one of the perks is that you get products that are not sold at the market. You get breakfast and or lunch on
And
the
bull
days you
semen,
work.
that shit's expensive, man.
That's the stuff you want.
Bull semen, isn't
Yeah.
that a big deal?
You can ship it. You can sell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait.
What am I looking at there?
Put a little
What
of my
the
frosted
heck
flakes.
is that?
Wow, I don't know, but I'm going to throw up everything I just put in my
see
body.
what it is. That is
Urban
an
Condom.
udder, and that is a calf drinking from an udder.
Or maybe that's one of the workers with a calf mask on, pretending, and that's how
what
they
you have to
milk.
do.
How many furries will be applying for this job? That's some
Exactly.
weird suckers now. Speaking of suckers.
Exactly. And
Oh,
this-
here's video of.
Oh, let's go to the tape.
Let's go to
Yeah.
some tape. This is is that a male or female?
That's a bull. He's got horns.
yeah.
Can you
You ever
hear
see
him?
this?
And his mother's taking the video. Mom, you're embarrassing me.
Right, I know,
Oh,
right?
crap.
Wasn't that? You ever see the size of those things on those bulls,
What,
man?
Oh, man.
No,
The penis is on
yeah, there's
Oh,
some
yeah.
big suckers on there.
Massive penis.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Now
fucking look at the size of the animal.
I've ridden buffalo.
Are you gonna?
Really?
You're gonna wait. There you go. And he lost a hand.
No, look how
Nah,
nice that
they're
bull
they're
is.
sweet. Cows
Buffalo.
are very very sweet.
I've ridden a buffalo too, but she's working out now. I mean,
Look at that tongue. Wow.
Oh, baby, you're going to be some
Can
nice
you-
bison burger later on
can
today,
you play
baby.
that Latino girl again for me?
Ay, papi, qué rico.
So there you have it,
Oh,
folks.
milk
If you
it,
want
babe.
to move to Florida,
What
and
up?
it's at the beach.
You think
You
they'd
get-
be up for a three-way? Hey, your horn's in my way.
what's the weather like? You know what? We should go to Friendly Phil Leotardo for our weather update.
By
in
the way,
Florida.
wait, before
Hot and sticky.
regarding
like my
the
balls.
three-way, you know that the World Health Service just put out an announcement regarding the coronavirus with all the different things that you should do to protect yourself, including, it says, wear condoms
When you're milking
when
a
you're
bull?
having sex with animals.
I like to raw
Oh.
dog
It
it. I'm
says
sorry,
it.
I'm raw
They
dogging it.
actually had. They're not. They didn't say don't have sex with animals. They say if you're going
If you're gonna do it.
wear a condom.
P.S. and buy them dinner.
I got to cancel all my. I just got a
Can
new
you
match.
believe that?
I just said I got a new match. Swear to God. Let's see.
On Tinder?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me check
As soon
it
as
out.
that happens. As
That
soon
is
as that
amazing.
happens.
How did we miss that they said if you're going to have sex with an animal, like you're right. Like it's just.
Yeah. No, that was the World Health
No,
Service.
there's only so far. I am not wearing a condom with a buffalo.
You wouldn't?
No, I want to raw dog that baby.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Tony
Come on.
Bruno.
You gotta-
Okay, that's enough.
You got to put a little something on there, a little
No, I'm
lubrication.
I'm not into bestiality.
Frisco? Little
I prefer
Frisco?
my cows to be of the two-legged variety. So, slump buster every once in a while. You got to have one of those.
That's utterly ridiculous, Tone.
BBW. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, can we going to tell people where Paul's performing and what time?
Yeah,
and everything?
Punchline Philly. Go to punchlinephilly.com.
And there's going to be 2 shows Friday night, 2 shows Saturday night, and 1 Sunday. I think 1 show or 2 might be sold out or almost sold out. We got a lot of people coming out on Valentine's Day night. There's 2 shows, like I said, and come and hang out. You guys should come and
Well,
see
which
a
one's
tape
not
show.
sold out? I'm going to go.
Probably, I think the second show Friday or second show Saturday. Yeah,
I'm coming.
All right, good. Okay, we'll get you on a list.
Can you get me on a list? Can you get me on the list?
You're gonna listen. You're gonna have a bottle of urine. There's gonna be a bull at your table.
Oh, beautiful, man.
To milk, and then we're gonna have your chicken parm, and we're
Can
gonna
Luigi bring his own chicken?
Right.
Can he make his own and bring it in?
And
So
then
he
I'm
doesn't
bringing
have
my
to
own cow and a date. All right, trust me.
and then,
His pockets will be full.
and then I'm gonna come and squirt toothpaste in your mouth at your table.
Oh, man, that's going to be awesome.
This is
I'll
awesome,
I'll
man.
definitely go to the show. Absolutely. Man.
Please,
Punchline
yeah.
Philly this weekend in Philly. Great spot down there in Fishtown.
Yeah.
Have you been down there?
I've been there before,
I've
but it's
been
been
there.
a couple of years since I've been there. They really built that place up. Like,
Yeah,
they
that's
got
a
that
hot
behind-
area
Last
now.
time
The
we were there,
Fillmore's there.
Yeah.
Last time we were there, we saw Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo
Yeah,
was in
Caliendo's
town.
in
We
town.
went and saw.
You guys should come see your show.
Absolutely. Can you get us in?
No.
Nah.
I want 2 down low. I don't want to sit all the way in the back where I can't heckle you.
We're gonna put
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna you're gonna go in the parking lot with the window open.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll bring the chicken, Paul. I'll bring the chicken.
Luigi will be frying cutlets in the parking
I'll
lot.
wear a shirt that fits. How about that?
Exactly. And by the way, I'm gonna have a special toilet installed so you can
Oh,
get
great.
so you can get a geyser of water up your anus.
It's great, man.
Nice.
That's
Now,
good
people,
shit.
everybody on the chat room knows about the Bruno bidet, and they're like, "You need to try it. You need to try
Before
it.
you
It
go,
is- before you
just
go,
wash
you
out
gotta
all
try
that
it.
toothpaste and all that stuff that you've been eating here.
It's
Get
fantastic.
that baby, clean that baby out.
Right out. But yeah, and also folks can go to my YouTube channel, Paul Mecurio on
Yes.
YouTube, and subscribe to that. There's a lot of cool stuff, and my
Definitely.
podcast. Oh, next time I got to tell you my Paul McCartney story, how I got him on my
Oh
show.
yes.
You have the
we
tape
don't have
still?
to have you back.
You got to tease that and leave it?
Yeah, I got to tell you the whole story with the message, but we'll tell another time.
We'll do it another time.
But I hope you guys can come see me this weekend. It's always fun in Philly.
I'll be
Thank you.
there.
This is really fun, man. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. And don't forget to tip your waitresses, your bulls, your cows, all your bitches out there.
And anybody come and bring some catalytic converters for your friend here, Paulie.
Exactly right.
I'll be out in the parking lot cutting Cadillac converters out.
It doesn't even have to be a great car. The catalytic
No.
converters
Right.
all have the same shit in them.
Right. And then if your kids are grown, bring their little T-shirts. Luigi will be there.
Exactly. I'll be signing them all. Signing them all.
Paul, great to see you,
Zoolander,
man.
Hey,
Baby
great to
Gap.
see you.
A lot
man.
of fun.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun. I love
Thank
to
you.
laugh, man, and that's what we did today, and that's what this is all about. About having fun, man, enjoying life. None of this bullshit stuff. You know what I mean? In the meantime, don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive.
Right.
And God bless America. Even Providence, Rhode Island, where my good friend Chuck Wilson is from, and where, of course, Angelo Cataldi grew up. And God bless America. It's still the greatest country on earth. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 1 o'clock, with Jeremy Roenick, right here on the Tony Bruno Show. Good night, everybody.
Keep on scratching.